God's gift, God's messenger. You're watching Christ High Magazine, and you know I'm explaining different things in the Bible. I was just talking about the salt of the earth and how God has called us to be the salt of the earth. So we can't lose our taste, our flavor, or else we will be trampled on by the feet of man. And that's biblical. You know what I mean? That's really biblical. I wanted to talk to you about a few things. I wanted to talk to you about Sodom and Gomorrah, the story about Sodom and Gomorrah. Remember how Sodom and Gomorrah was two cities, nations, strong nations that were predominantly homosexual, and they were homosexual of nature. They were cannibalistic. They ate human beings. They worshiped Nephilim, false gods and giants through blood sacrifice and through homosexual sex and through group sex and orgies and through self-mutilation. They would cut themselves and stuff, and the blood would the mutilation, the self-mutilation would be a tribute to the Nephilim kings of Sodom and Gomorrah. And so God seen that Sodom and Gomorrah were completely evil, because the people they were predator minded. They had absolutely no regard to respect for the rights and feelings of others. They relished in overpowering the weak and the frail. They were very savage like. They were really into a lot of blood sacrifices. They were into self-mutilation and group sex. That was the norm. Like, if you came in there and you had one wife, that was considered abnormal, because their society was so bundled up and so open and free sex and all this stuff that it was a trip. And so God had, God had heard the cries of the people, and so he sent two angels in the Sodom and Gomorrah to investigate, to see, actually what was going on down there in Sodom and Gomorrah, because the outcry was so hard. Now check this. God has given me a revelation on this, because I believe that we're living in a Sodom and Gomorrah time, a post Nephilim time, and I believe that the world as it is right now is governed based. The government of the worlds is Sodom and Gomorrah government, and they require Sodom and Gomorrah worship, and they require Sodom and Gomorrah behavior. Just think outside the box for a minute. In Sodom and Gomorrah, they did blood sacrifices. 2013 in January is going to mark the 40th year anniversary of American blood sacrifices through abortion clinics. Back then, they sacrificed their babies. They did blood sacrifices of their babies and of their husbands and of their wives and of their children to the Nephilims, to the giants, to the reptilians, right? The serpent-seated reptilians, who are what the Illuminati call ascended masters now, or what some people call reptilians, what some people call aliens. They're demons, and they're from hell. Back then, they actually sat in their demon form, and they were giants in their demon form, and those giants in their giant form, in their demon form, required blood sacrifices, required self-mutilation, required orgies, group sex, and homosexuality. They required that as a form of worship. And so, that was the life and the mentality and the behavior of Sodom and Gomorrah then. Now, nothing has changed. These Nephilims, these ascended masters, so-called, have contacted people and start channeling with these people and have found a way to set up another government down here because people don't seem to get it. There is no more secret societies that are truthful and just. All of that is demonic. These droids, these Quakers, these Druids, these Freemasons, these Illuminatis, man, they all homosexuals and pedophiles. And if you join them, they gonna turn you into a homosexual and a pedophile. All this ascended master, come and join me and we're going to give you strength. And the ascended master is going to be your guide to esoteric knowledge. And we're going to give you, powers, the supernatural and this and that. But you got to have sex. You got to have sex with the same sex. And you got to be in the blood sacrifices in order to get it. Come on, man. First of all, you don't even know what the ascended master is. Second of all, the ascended master has got you on some old satanic hype, just far away from what God has for your life. And the more you follow that path to try to seek esoteric knowledge, the farther away from God you get. And the closer you're getting to really sealing your own faith. It's your choice. You see what I'm saying? So what they did was they channeled and they set up another thing. Blood sacrifices. Blood sacrifices. All right, American abortions. Blood sacrifices. These women, I did some research on the abortion clinics and stuff, right? And this one guy, he said he was blowing up abortion clinics because God told him to. And before we write it off and say, did God really tell him to, or is he just crazy? We need to really investigate that. He wasn't actually killing people when he was blowing up the abortion clinics. He was actually blowing up the facility of the abortion clinic. And I believe he was inspired to do that. Because the Illuminati, by way of the ascended masters, have channeled and begin to occupy human bodies down here. Doctors and scientists and all of that. The Illuminati is being controlled by the reptilians. And they're the reptilians, the human version of the reptilian slaves. They're slaves to the reptilians, to the Nephilims. And they set up the same Sodom and Gommorah. So instead of killing your baby like they did back then to the Nephilim, to the reptilian, now you go to the abortion clinic and do it in a more subtle way. But it's the same thing. And it's not subtle because it really hurts that child. You're actually hurting the fetus. You see what I'm saying? You're taking a life. And it's feeding them. It's feeding the reptilians. It's feeding them and giving them power. They're requiring these blood sacrifices. In China, you can only have one or two children at the most. Everything else, you got to kill them. Or we're going to seal off, we're going to nurture you so that you can't, we're going to seal your tubes up so that you can't reproduce. That is evil. That's the reptilian agenda. That's the agenda of this ascended masters, so-called dark celestials that you're trying to contact. These are demons. That ain't God's will. God said procreate. Go and be fruitful and multiply on the earth. You know what I mean? Propagate the earth. He wants us to multiply. He don't want us to. That's not a population threat. Nah. If there's an endangered threat, they don't want to kill. See, this is the thing. When the Illuminati talk about they finna kill, they want to kill 2.6 billion or 5.2 billion people on the face of the earth. They don't want to kill everyone. They just want to kill the people who have the DNA of God, who have the genetic makeup of I'm gonna fight them with everything inside of me. You know what I'm saying? They want slaves. They want people. They want slaves on the face of the earth. They just don't want people who have it in their genetic makeup, who have it in their DNA that would challenge their system, right? That would channel on a Christ conscious and be a light in a dark place, and that would actually revolutionize their cities and their nations and their worlds. They don't want people who are going to challenge them. So that's the 2.5 billion people that they're trying to kill, or the 5.6 billion people that they're trying to kill. They're not trying to kill everybody. They just they want to keep the slaves because they want slaves. They want to be worshipped. You know, you're talking about ascended masters giving you esoteric knowledge now. Are you gonna be saying that when they replace the stone statue that you're worshiping with the actual reptilian come December 21st, 2012? And are you gonna be saying that when these reptilians is running in the streets chasing down your babies and eating your babies because they acquired the taste through the abortion clinics? Are you going to be saying the same thing? Are you going to be worshiping these ascended masters then? Do you know what they're guiding you into? You know what I mean? That's why the Bible says the steps of the righteous man are ordered by the Lord, and God delights in his path. Let God order your steps. Don't be guided by these ascended masters. These ascended masters, you have to understand, they're demons. They're demons. But they have we don't understand the quantum physics or the metaphysics or the physics period of their spiritual realm. They're supernatural. We don't understand the physics of their realm. So, you know, in their physics they can manifest however. They can appear as an angel. You know what I mean? Lucifer was you know, he called himself, he thought he was the morning star. He thought that he was the bright morning star. He thought that, you know, that, man, I'm telling you, these ascended masters are appearing as being, you know, spiritual and peaceful. You know, the Masons start off, you know, being attractive and enticing you with, oh, you're going to learn secrets. But the further you go into that esoteric knowledge and the further you seek guide with these dark celestials, and the more you try to channel or tune into a frequency of these ETs, the lesser human you're becoming, and the more grounds you're giving these demons to occupy your body so that they can carry out their agenda here on earth. Once again, whole entire civilizations have been wiped out by these people. You know what I'm saying? They've been bound up, and then somebody channel them and opening it back up again. You don't want to open up this Pandora box. What do you think happened to the Mayans? Right? The Mayans were superior mathematicians. They were, you know, supreme scientists. They were, you know, they were so superb and so superior in traveling the stars and astrology. It was, they created the lone calendar that is more accurate than the Gregorian calendar that the Western culture, you know, follows today. Their time were more superior than a linear time that we follow today. They were on point, right? They were able to create a calendar and decipher exactly what's going to take place on December 21st, 2012, when the sun and the earth meet at the center point of the Milky Way galaxy, right? But their entire civilization was killed off because they was misguided by these so-called ascended masters. They were led to blood sacrifices. They were led to, you know, pornography, sensual dancing, self-mutilation. Eventually they was taken over by these Nephilims, and a whole society, civilization wiped out. That's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to wipe out this civilization right now, right? What are you going to do when they replace the statue of Zeus for the actual Zeus, but in the reptilian form though? You know what I mean? Who you going to cry out to save you then? The government? Because that's who is the Nephilim, the government.